everybody. Welcome to the Unscripted Cincy Podcast. We've improved ourselves this week. Have you? This show is brought to you by Brent Smothers and Dale Hathaway. Today we have a special guest joining us. Please, everybody, welcome to the show Chris Schreiber, founder at STW Sports Media. Chris is also my co-host for the A7FL Sundays play-by-play broadcast. And he is the main host. I am just his co-host. He is the head of the show. He is the founding father of STW. Welcome, Chris, man. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, brother. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. I'm looking forward to, being on this episode and talking about the A7FL and just some different things, man. It's been fun. Like I said, like you said, last year, got in there and had a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to my first full season with the A7FL.
That's great, man. And we're looking forward to seeing you on March 24th as well, man. As to lead off the slate is the Sin City Chaos versus the QC Crush. And then for the second hit of the day, we've got the Covington Heist versus the new gang in town, the Indy Octane. So what are you, since you do cover a lot of sports within southeastern Indiana, is there any rumblings from a couple of those guys joining the Indy Octane, or is you as new to their game as we are?
Very new. I have kind of, as things have popped off on social media, obviously just trying to keep my, my tools sharpened up, make sure I have enough information going into the season, being the commentator for the live broadcast online. And I have not seen much of anything other than, I believe it was the Octane's head coach. I'm drawing a blank on the name. You'll have to, forgive me on that.
That's not right. Never mind.
He's a real big guy. I'm pretty sure, big guy. I saw it on social media. I saw it on Twitter. I just can't remember. I mean, heck, I could pull it up, but I saw it. It was that's the only thing I've seen though. Is just that they named a head coach and that was it. Other than that, I'm really excited to see how these other teams shake out. These new teams, especially against specifically like the Chaos and the Heist. Those I would say. Just for the simple fact that they made it to the Ohio Division Championship game last year, those are your two teams. But against any of these teams, all these teams are proven. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting to see how a new team fares coming in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Please go ahead, Brent. You're absolutely right, though.
That's one thing I'm kind of looking forward to is us being the new kids on the block last year. Now we have another new kid on the block. No film on them. Know nothing about them. So I'm kind of excited to see how that plays out, and they're actually coming down next Saturday. We're doing a scrimmage with the Crush, Heist, and the Octane.
Oh, nice.
And, so, me being the guy I am, I'm definitely recording that so I can have a little bit of something for whenever we go in to play them. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to kind of see how it plays out for A7 Indy, knowing that our division owner also owns the Indianapolis division, just kind of seeing how it's going to tie together and how it's all going to work.
I just actually found it on Twitter here. It was Casey Carter.
Okay.
Casey Carter he's been coaching for, it says here on the A7FL Indianapolis Twitter, that's at A7FL Indy. 37 years head coaching in semi-pro. And then he played for a decade as well. It looks like he was with the Indianapolis Enforcers semi-pro team. And I guess, I don't know if they're considered semi-pro or if they're kind of like how the Cincinnati Flex used to be, like an indoor arena-ish team.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's the A7FL or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, they actually had just recently won their championship.
Nice. So yeah, it looks like they got some good coaching. If they get some solid players in there, I think it should be interesting. One thing that I kind of like, I've talked to a couple people, and one thing I would like to point out, I don't necessarily know too much about what the semi-pro scene looks like in Indianapolis, but I can tell you this: Cincinnati, man, semi-pro teams out the wazoo, brother. Like there are so many opportunities to play post whatever football in the city of Cincinnati. It's ridiculous. And like I said, I don't know what that scene looks like in Indianapolis, but if there's it could go one of two ways. If there's a huge presence of that, it could be hard for them to get players who want to leave their teams, or they could just come and want to play in a different league. Or if they don't have a scene like that, and there's a bunch of guys chomping at the bit to get back at it, this could be a fantastic thing. You never really know.
From my understanding, I'm pretty sure they have Indy Bison Red and Blue. The Southern Indiana Bobcats and the Indy Tornadoes, if I'm not mistaken.
I've only heard of the Bison. And I think the only reason I heard of the Bison is because there was a player last year, I want to say for the Chaos.
Yeah, Corey Bridges.
Yeah. So I think that's the only reason I know who they are.
Yeah. So, not to keep talking, Dale, I'm sorry, but
yeah, you're good. You're good.
How would you how did you like your first year of commentating in the A7FL? Kind of getting thrown to the wolves in it. Having to learn the league a little bit, learn the teams. How would you say that was for you as an overall?
It was fun. For sure fun. I mean, I look back on that last season, and I mean, I had a blast. I'll be honest with you. I'll just be completely transparent. Like, it was so funny how it panned out because I didn't know. Okay, so let me back up. So I had heard of the A7FL like years ago, and was like scrolling through Facebook, and it's like, hey, have you seen 7-on-7, no pads? And I'm like, what the hell is this? So, but like never like really paid attention. Like it was just one of those things that I had seen and was like, oh, that's crazy. And then just like went about my life,
Yeah.
And didn't even know that there was a team in Cincinnati, let alone Covington. So I was like, whatever. Well, there was a guy that I played high school football with. He was a year or two older than me. His name was Josh Dugan.
I remember that name.
I don't think he lasted he didn't last very long in the A7FL because literally, no joke, he posted a selfie from the field with his jersey. And I was like, I immediately shot him a message. I was like, hey, is that like 7-on-7 no pads thing? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I'm playing in it. I'm like, oh, hell yeah, dude. Congratulations. Like, I know you're going to kick ass, dude, because you were a hell of a wide receiver. I was like, let me know about games or something, man. I'll come out and get some pictures for you. Because I also, I do photography for STW for all the high school and youth sports. I was like, just let me know, man. I'll come out and get pics. And he goes, well, we have a game, whatever day. It was the game, coincidentally, the last game at LaSalle. So,
man, it gets brought up every episode.
I was like, I'm busy that day. I was like, but I'll tune in, man. Send me a link or whatever, and I'll tune in and I'll watch. So I'm like watching the game, and there's no play-by-play, and I'm like, what is happening? And I'm like, well, so there was, but it was just like this one guy, and I don't want to I don't want to shit on anybody because once I realized what was happening, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like, this guy's not a commentator. And he wasn't. He was just the guy producing the feed. But they didn't have a commentator, so they literally just threw him on there, and the guy was like, number 37 with the ball, tackled by 10. That's going to be a first down. And I was like, hey, man. And my first thought was, you need a partner when you do commentary. I was like, I would love to do it. I was like, I've done it a couple times. I'd love to get back into it. So I commented on the feed. That's all I did.
I think I remember that.
I just said, hey, would love an opportunity if you have one. Sounds like your commentator needs a partner, somebody to feed off of. I've got, what do they call it? I got what is the word I'm looking for? I'm drawing the biggest blank right now. I got people that can vouch.
He is a raconteur. If many of you may or may not have seen that wonderful documentary, they give you the definition of raconteur.
Oh man,
for all 3 eps.
But I did. I told him, man. I just said, I was like, I got Rex, bro. Like, I got people that can vouch. Immediately got a message, and they were like, "Yo, game next week. I'll holler at you for a schedule." This is what it is. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Bet, let's go."
It was a fucking match, man.
Obviously, things happened. Somebody got punched in the face, and then I waited for like 3 weeks to actually get on out there. So I don't think my first week was until it was my first week was like week 3 or 4. I don't remember, but it was like deep in the season, and I was just like, yo, like it's fun, it's exciting, it's fast paced, but like I like a good challenge like that, and I didn't know, I knew 2 people, shockingly, and that was it. I don't know what happened to Josh. Josh wasn't playing for the heist at all by the time I got there, and then I knew Clay Ballinger and Kyle Hogan from my Cincinnati Flex days. And I was like, cool, I know people. This is going to be fun. Like, I'm excited now because they're going to vouch. Like, if something happens, like, we're good. And then it was just coast from there. It did suck the first couple times just being the only guy in there. But, I mean, what are you going to do, man? I mean, it is what it is. I was secret time. I was supposed to have a guy with me. But he just couldn't do it on Sundays. He had started a new job, and that was it. So I was like kind of just in there by myself. But yeah, I mean, if I had, like I said, going back, if I had to describe it, fun but challenging, and just wanting to do it again, and I'm excited to do it.
But hey, man, yeah, luckily he did not show, because then they had me assist you with that Final Four game, which I think is one of the most exciting calls of all the 2023 season, hands down, was that pass deflection and then take it to the house. Oh, man.
Yeah. You mean the one they dubbed over?
Hey, but I'll be honest, I still get goosebumps hearing it from you guys. Like, to this day, when I watch that video, I still get goosebumps.
Because you got even I play for the Crush, but dude, when I saw that was so fucking crazy.
Oh my god!
I was jumping for joy, like, damn!
So much fun. We jumped up, and I mean, it was, for lack of a better term, no pun intended, it was absolute chaos in that press box.
I was worried. I was worried I broke Chris's headset, because I jumped out of my seat and the thing fucking ripped back, and I had to pick it back up. I was like, I think it's a touchdown. I think he did it.
Well, what was crazy about that too is to bring it back up, Clay Ballinger. Right before they went back out on the field, I looked at him. I said, "Listen, we're averaging 2 to 3 picks a game. I haven't got a single one all fucking day. I'm due. And you guys, I'm due." And he looked at me dead in my eyes and said, "We got you, coach. Watch, bro." 2 plays later, we get the pick, and I'm just sitting here like, I just see Pierre in the end zone, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Fucking right.
Shout out Clay. Shout out Clay, bro. Clay's my dog, man. Clay is such a good dude. I love him to death, man. Shout out Clay.
I know. That's a hard hit on the Chaos this year with him moving down to Florida.
Oh, he's not coming back?
No, he moved down to Daytona.
Damn, man, that sucks. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
And then,
I like him a lot.
Kyle Hogan is actually our offensive coordinator this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Hey, that's not bad. Not bad. He's coming off of a damn impressive season over at St. Bernard, man. Damn impressive season.
Yep. Yeah,
that's what I've heard. He's kind of turned that program around.
Oh, yeah. Hell of a head coach, man. Shout out Hogan. Coach Hogan, baby. My dude, man. He's cool. I love that guy.
It's so let's talk a little bit about STW. From my understanding, you guys cover all things youth and high school sports in southeastern Indiana. What's that like? Covering overnight sensation Jackson from Lawrenceburg.
Ryan, you mean?
Yeah, Ryan. My bad. Yeah.
Or Noah.
Yeah. My bad.
No, I'm thinking of Ryan's his dad. No, you're good. Yeah, man. STW is fulfilling. It's definitely, as a whole, everybody always just associates us with the high school stuff. I mean, we've been doing it since 2016. It was me and my buddy Alex. I don't think anybody's met Alex yet. Alex was actually supposed to be with me in the booth, but he started a new job and then couldn't do anything with it. So it's me and my buddy Alex, and basically, man, it started in 2016. We're just hanging out. I mean, we've been friends since like we were sophomores in high school, and we were just hanging out at my apartment in Harrison, and we're talking, and we're like, we should, like, all we do, like, when we hang out, man, is we'll go to like B-dubs, we'll have a beer, and we'll talk sports. I'm like, we should figure out a way to like do that, but like make content out of it. And I mean, this was like way before everything. I mean, and like STW has evolved a lot since then. So like when it started, originally what we would do is we would hang out once a week and just go live on Facebook, and then just bullshit with each other on Facebook. That's it. Live, pretty much a live podcast. And then that started, and then we decided we were going to implement the Friday Night Lights tour. And we were one of the first, as far as I know, we were one of the first real creatives in the area. There wasn't a lot of people doing, what is that?
I'm just saying, I would agree.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I mean, it was something, my brain looked at it from a perspective of, it was something that we weren't seeing other people do. And the one thing that just, comes back to me every time was, dude, like I played ball growing up. I played football my whole life. And, it was one of those things where it was like, we had a photographer on the field, and it was like, you had to wait till November to get your pictures for your final, banquet or whatever. I'm like, dude, we were so excited about those pictures. Like, wouldn't it be cool if we could just get those pictures to the kids right there? I'm like, just immediately after the game.
And even to double down,
that was the thing, man. Like,
and then even to double down on that, you were at Ross High School this past fall for division championships, and I'm up in the stands, and I didn't even know that you were there. I looked down the sideline, I'm like, what the fuck? I think that's Chris, and then I end up getting some amazing photos of like the people that I was with and all the kids on Reading and whatnot, and they're like, I had no idea that like this was even like happening at these games. And it's like, yeah, I'm telling you, like it's a generational thing that it's completely changing the game. Like we do photos now, like this is huge for the kids.
Yeah, man. And that was my thing, man. It was, I wanted to go watch good football. So, what we would do was, we started off doing I would blast emails to athletic directors, just, you ain't got to pay us. Like, we're just going to promote the hell out of your school, promote the hell out of your athletes. Just please promote the hell out of us. That's all I ask. And, we did that for a couple years, and then we narrowed it down to 6 schools, and then recently just made the switch over to just Indiana. The Ohio, a lot of it was just, shout out to the old Ohio schools, man. I mean, it was just one of those things where it was like, there wasn't a lot of, I guess, a combination of like community support and
we know which ones,
things like that. I mean, now,
I know who you're talking about, but you don't have to mention them by name if you don't want to. But I know exactly who you're talking about.
No, it wasn't even just that. Like it was a business decision for everybody. I love the schools that we worked with over in Ohio. Shout out. Harrison, Ross, Hamilton, man, they were sick. They were a lot of fun. But we got to go where we think, it's just things are going to be beneficial for us and that's mutual benefit for the schools too.
And that's the thing. You can't spread yourselves too thin because it's like, whether you're a diehard fan or just a casual observer, like you got to cover and get extensive coverage with the same teams, because if you're jumping around, like that's great to spread out, but like you don't want to spread yourself too thin. Like you got to stay up to date with everything and every team and everybody. Like it's a lot.
Yeah. And we had a lot of fun too, man. Like, I mean, we got to see a lot of really, really, really good athletes over the years. I mean, hell, we were at one of Mayan Williams' like high school games. You know, he's a running back over at Ohio State. He played at Winton Woods, and he walks past, pops his helmet off, and I looked at Alex, and I was like, that kid's 26. I'm like, I don't care what anybody says. He's got a half-sleeve of tattoos and a cool beard. I'm like, the dude's 26 years old.
Got
like, we watched him.
Birth certificate.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it looked like. I mean, he was a dog, bro. But yeah, it was like we watched him and, you know, just a ton of guys over the years, man. And it's just, most recently, actually, a guy still in college too was Caleb Johnson over at Iowa, who's running back at Hamilton, man. He was a stud. But, you know, we a lot of it was, you know, we made the switch over to Indiana. I recently had met Chris Evans from the Cincinnati Bengals, had some really good conversations with him. And I do some creative work with his company, Collectively Evolving. Shout out Collectively Evolving, man. It's a great company. And they're doing great things with the youth football in, you know, all the areas, Indiana, Cincinnati, everywhere. Because, I mean, he's from Indianapolis. So, I mean, they're doing huge things with youth sports and just these cats in high school in general, just all the way up. Prep sports all the way up. I mean, his company's killing it, man. And I can't say more good things about it. And I can't thank him enough for giving me the few opportunities that he's given me to do some work and to help, you know, promote these athletes. That's the whole goal for me with STW is there are athletes. If you look at Cincinnati, most Cincinnati news coverage is going to give you like Elder, Colerain, Fairfield, like Princeton. All these big schools, which is fine.
Which sadly, I went to Fairfield. That was cool and everything, but no, like there's literally like 70 schools in the Cincinnati urban metropolitan area, and we always only hear about 8. And now we're hearing a little bit about Withrow because of Chris Henry's kid being there, but unfortunately, he has since left and is going back to North Carolina now. So now nobody's gonna fucking give a shit about Withrow anymore, but. And it's sad because they're a staple. They're an institution. They've been around for 250 fucking years. I would probably debatably say third best field, maybe fourth best field in the city, if you ask me.
We've had a lot of really good dudes that we've been able to watch. Like I said, Josh Ringer. He's headed to Miami to play defense. He's a running back. Dude scored 62 touchdowns and had over 6,000 yards rushing this year. Not for the career.
Damn.
This season.
God damn.
And he's
that man a contract,
bro. He's a dog. You know, I'll tell you the one that sticks out to me is a kid by the name of Noah Schneider. He's a offensive tackle at East Central. Kid is 6'2", probably ish 6'2", somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Machine, bro. Like, I will send you his highlight tape. I mean, this cat, you'd think he worked at IHOP the way he's serving up these pancakes, bro. Like, dudes could not touch him.
Gosh.
And but the thing is, though, is he just wasn't getting many offers.
Yep.
But a lot of it was, I think, because he was shorter. He's not, let me tell you a secret. If Homeboy was 6'4", everybody would want him. But he actually, congratulations to him, shout out to him, just signed. He got an offer to go play at University of Indianapolis.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Play guard. So
it's exciting. I mean, it's exciting, man. That's why we're all doing this for this next generation. You know, like we've said in past episodes. You know, like we're here to help the next generation get opportunities that we have either helped created or were not available to us. So, I commend you, man. You guys are doing awesome work over there, man. Seriously, you're the number one company in Southeast Indiana, and I believe the tri-state myself.
Thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. That means a lot. It really does, man. I've worked, you know, it's just me and Alex. It's 2 dudes with a camera and some social media, man. And we bust our ass to provide good content for these kids and for these schools and these communities that we feel deserve to have the kind of respect that everybody else has.
Absolutely.
And that's our thing, man. But I like, while I appreciate the kind words, though, man, I want to give a shout out to some dogs, bro. Because look, man, we got my boy John Boy Media. Shout out to John Goldsberry, dude. That dude is a monster behind the lens. Be shocked. Don't be shocked if my guy is on a sideline on some A7FL games this year. He's a fucking boss, bro. That dude can absolutely shoot games, bro.
Heck yeah.
Shout out to my guy, Tri-State Sports, Matt Bowman. Matt's a dog. Matt, look, let me tell you a secret. I couldn't find a cameraman in the NFL that can track a football better than Matt can track a ball with his camera, dog. I'm not. Look, I ain't lying, man. I'm just being honest. Like,
I think we're going to have some of the best media coverage and as well as video and audio, like, in the whole nation. I mean,
I hope so, man. That's my goal, man. That is my goal this year. Is I see the potential with this league. I see the potential with these players. And, I'm just a commentator. You know what I mean? But goddamn it, if I want to get in there and do the things and I have these connections, these people that I can bring in to make this division and this league, just this Ohio division, everybody, man, just like, we need to put this shit on the map. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm selfish as shit about the Ohio division, man. Selfish, bro.
Me too, man. Like, I'm all about it.
And that includes Indianapolis. It includes Indianapolis because we're all playing each other. You know what I mean? Like,
which segue, I hear that there's some breaking news in from A7FL Columbus.
Uh-oh.
A7FL Columbus, from what I'm getting from reports, and I quote, currently does not have any open registrations for any of their 3 teams. What?
So does that mean they don't have a team or they got their slots filled?
Does that mean that they don't have 3 teams or does that mean that they only got 1 registration open for everybody?
So from what I'm hearing, shout out Charles Winters with the Columbus Explorers. Talking to him a little bit, their division manager hasn't opened up registration for players. They're supposed to have 3 teams. Charles doesn't even know if the Pigtown Guard Dogs is going to be a thing or the Linden Guard Dogs, whatever they are. But as of right now, I know Charles Winters has, a full roster ready to register, and the Volcanoes apparently are coming back too. But with that being said, one thing that I think a little sketchy that's going on up there is he's only letting them have 21 players per roster instead of max roster limit 35, 40 non-travel. He's only allowing 21 per roster. So I don't really know what the deal is up there, but they got to get their shit together because we have 44 days until this shit's going, and it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass if we have to reschedule all of our games and basically remake a whole entire schedule because they want to half-ass and drag ass going into the season.
Which I've already heard that the A7FL East has already announced that they will be doing a schedule release. I believe that they were in fear of the slaughter of the Silk City Animals and their, let's call it a healthy matchup list of opponents that they were going to have to face this upcoming year. And hopefully with the release of that schedule, they won't have everybody dip, duck, dive, and dodge that team and join themselves another team this season. But we'll have to definitely check in with our boys, Corey, Matt, and Rob, and get the inside scoop on that here after their upcoming podcast this Friday.
Shout out to 3-on-1 podcast.
Before we jump any farther, before we get too far away from the Ohio division, I do want to give another shout out, man, because I almost forgot, and I don't want to forget these guys. Yamo Media, man. Those are your boys that put on all of the video production for the A7FL live streams, man. My boy Adam Dell, hell of a producer, man. He gets behind that keyboard, man. He's a motherfucking wizard. And he is a damn good producer, man. Him and He does a lot of work with the Ohio Media School, man. He gets a lot of guys come out. They help man the cameras. They help man the scoreboard. They help man everything else that it takes to just run an entire production. Like I said, man, I am one piece, one cog in this giant machine that helps run the live streams for these A7FL things, man. Listen, I just talk my ass off. Those cats behind the scenes, man, Yamo Media and STW, man, like that. When you get in the booth, man, is what it is. Like that. Them dudes are dogs, man. Shout out Yamo. Them dudes they're sick, and they make that drive from Columbus every week.
Yeah, they
every
actually
single week, man.
They actually did really, really good, I think, production-wise with our season and kind of with the flow, everything. Because not the dog Vegas again. I know they're gonna watch this and fucking get on my ass about this, but their production kind of sucks.
I love you, Vegas.
Their production kind of sucks. Like, I've been watching Fall Brawl, and it's like every 10 minutes it's stopping.
There's a lot of lags and stuff.
Yeah, and that's one thing I will give us as a division props to is our games. They might not be on every single, not every single one might not be on YouTube, but if you're watching live, you're definitely gonna get a good ass production.
Man, and that's the other thing.
Shout out Yamo.
Yeah, man. Yamo Media, they're straight dogs. I ain't gonna lie to you, dogs, bro. They the one thing that I will say, man, we've had this season. Like I said, it was fun. It was challenging. We had a lot of issues up in that booth. We did. Between the booth got broke into one week when we weren't there. They ripped out all the electrical cords. We were in there we were in there doing stuff with exposed wires. Like the day of the, like, kind of not to get too behind the scenes for real, but like the day of the what was it, the Ohio, I think it was the Ohio championship. One of the cords, he was like running a cord from the inside computer to the top camera, and it touched the bleachers, fried his whole computer.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So like, if you go back and you listen to that stream, I'm pretty sure we didn't have a computer to run the ticker at the bottom of the screen, nor did we had to plug our mics into the actual camera. So the audio quality was like, garbage, bro.
It was a video. It had to have been like a video edited overlay that just showed the half, and then someone just changed the 1 to a 2 and the 2 to a 3 and the 3 to a 4.
Bro, that was a crazy day. But yeah, there was a couple times. I mean, like I said, man, I appreciate you saying that, like, because like I said, man, I love Adam to death. That dude works his ass off, man. But yeah, that day we got locked out of the press box and literally got in there with 5 minutes to spare and still made it to kickoff, bro. Still made it to kickoff. Like I said, I wanted to make sure to give a shout out to Adam because he's a fucking dog and he does a great job.
That's great, man. That's
Chris,
awesome.
I want to give you a shout out, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I want to give you a shout out. Well, I'm about to get there because, like you said, I watched that Crush Heist game, man. That first game, we were up in Columbus on my way home, and man, like the difference in hearing. And there's number 10 with a pass, and it's a touchdown, Covington Ice. Hearing, and he intercepted it. It's a touchdown. Like the big difference, man. Like bringing a voice not only for the division but for like mainly the teams, the guys out there on the field, man. Like just the energy that's brought into each and every single game, man. Like that's what I want to shout out because it makes it fun to watch.
Well, in addition, you're right, man. In addition to Chris's high school coverage, he brings in-depth analysis and commentary to our division as well. He's got so much knowledge from the high school game, Pee Wee, Pop Warner, as well as being a former semi-pro player himself, as well as being in the booth, knowing all of us for that much longer going into this season. I mean, you're probably going to get nominated for an award once it's all said and done, my brother.
Man, listen, I appreciate that. I genuinely do, man. And it all goes back to what I had said, man. Like, you gotta, if you want to take something serious, if you want something taken seriously, you gotta fucking treat it like a big deal. And goddamn it, this is a big deal. Like, to me, it is. I don't give a shit what anybody else thinks, man. You can tell somebody about the A7FL and they can look at you and go, it's fucking stupid. I don't give a fuck because I think it's great. And I'm going to go into that booth every fucking Sunday and I'm going to give it 110% because I can see the potential in what this league has to offer. And the more eyeballs that get on this league, the better. And the more eyeballs that get on the Ohio division, the better it's going to look for everybody involved, man. We got some absolute dogs out there in the field. And there's no reason to go into a thing and just, because look, man, if you treat it like shit, if you go into the booth and you go, yep, that'll be a big touchdown right there. That's cool. Yeah, nobody's going to give a shit. You're going to tune out. See ya. We're going to go watch the Vegas stream. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it is
and
what
then,
it is.
And then as
like,
to bring it back to the Vegas stream.
I just want to go in there and have fun.
So, like, say, like, obviously, it's just like with rugby or softball or young adult baseball. Like, if you move to a different place, then you just go pick up with that ball club. So,
got a couple of questions for you guys. You
yeah.
guys don't mind?
Yeah, of course.
So, I'm gonna shoot kind of like and I know we're crunched for time, so you don't have to give me like a long-winded answer for any of this, but what do you guys think? And you guys may have already touched on it in a previous episode. My apologies for not getting around to listening to anything. I'm just busy as shit 24/7. But what do you guys think about the Arena League and the A7FL merger or the partnership?
I think it's huge. I think it is really, really, really big. And the reason I say that is because I think it gives these players, kind of something to play for. To look forward to if they do really well and end up getting a, shot. And I think it is also big for the league in general, kind of puts us on the map a little bit, with the revamp of the Arena Football League, formerly having a team here in Cincinnati. So,
and soon to have another, probably.
I hope so.
They were supposed to.
And not to go too far off track, shout out to Kyle Hogan because he actually coached that Arena football team in Cincinnati with my all-time favorite quarterback to come out of the University of Kentucky, Jared Lorenzen.
Shout out to the Pillsbury throw boy. It's my dog.
But yeah, man, I think it's huge, man. It's really an awesome opportunity.
What you do? What you think about?
So, a lot of people know how I feel about semi-pro, just in this area in general. Unfortunately, it's probably going to hurt some people's feelings, but I think that this puts the A7FL at an even higher level comparatively to these regional leagues than it is at any point in time ever before. So we as coaches, so Brent and I believe that even though it hasn't been formally announced, the new Heist head coach, who we may or may not already know who it is, all have an opportunity to send players to the National Players Combine. This National Players Combine gives you pro-scouted and also graded film times and one-on-ones and team exercises and drills as well. And this is all at our fingertips. You're not going to get it in that flag league that you play in. You're not going to get an invite to this in that regional trophy that you play for. And as much as I genuinely enjoy going to those games and supporting all my boys, some of my best and most inspirational material, especially from the offensive side of the ball, was watching some of the 82 Chargers as they were beating up on the Ohio Rage a couple years ago. I mean, I went out to that fucking shit stomping. It's like 52-0. It was amazing seeing what they were able to do with a quarterback that couldn't move out of the pocket. Their play calling was incredible. They had tremendous athletes. And also, luckily enough, at the time, I had two guys on the roster that were playing for me. And now one of the dudes that was on the Rage is now playing with me as well. So any which way you look at it, it's huge for the city. It's huge for the young athletes here. And I would genuinely believe that it's going to generate more interest in the league here on the Cincinnati division, especially.
Yeah, man, I agree. I'm excited to see kind of where it goes. The way I looked at it was, from my 1,000-yard view anyway, it was, the A7FL and the Arena League are kind of like here, and then you've got the UFL, right? I mean, that's the general progression, and the UFL has to funnel into the NFL because there's nothing else going on. So it's like, at this point, you're 3 points of contact away from changing your life forever if you're really that good and you think you're that good. So yeah, I just wanted to get just kind of see what you guys thought about that. My only other question for you guys would be like, and this is just kind of like individually, but like, obviously you guys both coach your individual teams. Dale, you play as well. What are your guys' goals and just overarching just want for the season coming up?
Dale, I'll let you go first. I got kind of a hefty one, though.
Yeah, you're good. So I believe that this is the year that we break through as just the QC Crush team into being QC Crush the organization. So I've been pushing with Joseph and Aldrin in order for us to open up, business accounts or if even open up the QC Crush as a nonprofit business identity, get it an LLC, get ourselves into an organizational aspect as to where we can then start fundraising and advertising our product, and then also legally being able to get compensated for all the hard work and effort that we have been putting through. As I am starting to see that the AFL is possibly going to pick Cincinnati as location, and seeing how deep our division owner, Joseph, his ties that he has with some of the guys that are in those boardroom meetings right now, we could very well see a multi-million-dollar facility be built like the Gardens in a routine place right here around Cincinnati, which then would host an arena football team. As of to where one of the reasons why the AFL was not started here in Cincinnati is because U.S. Bank said that they were going to be unable to staff the events in the right proper manner. And then they also turned around and doubled down because when we tried to propose our A7FL Fraud Ball in the same exact location, they gave us the same answer too. So it isn't a matter of how big or how small the event is. They're just unwilling to do it. So I'm starting to see our team become a minor league program for a multi-million, hundreds of millions, or even maybe with the B word attached to it, organization moving into my city. And I'm thinking there's a bunch of young talent on my team that can be a part of that. And then I look at myself as that I get older in my career, I'm 33 now, 34, 35, whatever. Like,
Damn!
I start to move into like coaching, being a part of the organization, being a part of the booster platform, working in the office. So like I look at this as a longevity plan for me, as well as a longevity plan for our team to possibly resemble what QCRFC is doing and being a 50-year organization, which they are celebrating their 50-year anniversary this season. So many semi-pro teams just come around for a couple of years and fizzle out. One of the things that they are unable to do is to financially prepare themselves for the future. If you have money in the bank, I don't see a lot of companies folding at that point in time, unless if you just have a complete, fighting and bickering and whatnot amongst players. The organization is always going to be there. Teams dissolve. Organizations stay.
I get that.
My goal is going into the season, Chris. All right. Vegas is going to have to see me again. They're going to have to see me again. We got embarrassed. We got our asses handed to us. I'll admit that. They're going to have to see me again. That's kind of my, it's obviously every team's goal to win the whole thing. And, that's obviously our goal. But, my main goal going into the season was what can I do to prepare my team to get to that level. Last year, believe it or not, was my first year ever coaching football. I'm only 25, so it's like, trying to get a bunch of dudes who are older than me to listen to me was, a challenge. But this year they kind of, they kind of started respecting me, respecting what I do. And, we're all kind of officially molding together into one unit. And so my goal has been, obviously somewhat similar to Dale's is, I want to get this organization of the Sin City Chaos, to the next level where we can start fundraising, start being that longevity team in Cincinnati to where, basically to where we're known for years to come. But our main goal as a team, obviously, we're not taking anybody lightly in the division. It's one game at a time. But our long-term goal is, Vegas is going to have to see us. They're going to have to. And, they're going to listen to this. Like I said, they're going to have words for me. I don't care. We're a whole different ball team. We built that team last year in a couple weeks. I've had a whole off season to prep, prepare, and master this team and make it what it is right now, which you guys will see here in 44 days. But being one game away from that national championship has kind of sparked some fuel, hunger, and drive into these guys to want to, take this shit serious and take it to the next level. But I'm really, really, really hoping that we can buckle in and get to that Elite Eight to see the Insomniacs again to kind of show them like, hey, we're not the pushovers you think we are. Whether it's win or lose, it's going to be a absolute battle.
Because
that's kind of my goal.
Because even with that being said, and I don't know if you happen to have heard or not, but Chris, the top two teams out of the Cincinnati division, they both get to go get in the knockout round. One goes out west, one goes out east. So the number one team will be going out west to play the number one Cali team. Yeah. And then the number two Ohio team goes out east to play in the Final Four of the Eastern Division and plays the number one East team. So, and as much as the guys on the East Coast podcast hated to say it out loud, there could be an outside chance that it's two Cincinnati teams in the national championship game. It would have to be created by and it also would be held right here in Cincinnati. It would have to be a little bit of luck, a lot of talent, a ton of perseverance. And, I'm talking to you, Crush. You guys better hit the weight room. We got to get going because we got 44 days. If we want to get 44 days until the first notch on the campaign where we shock the world and beat the Sin City Chaos.
Big words, baby.
Dale,
you never know what's going to happen.
Listen, Dale, not to be
trying
that
to be
guy.
on here after that. I'm trying to be on here post game for that.
We'll throw you on here, but you guys are gonna have to work a little bit. That last scrimmage wasn't really too promising.
Yeah, we got a lot to work on. But also, with that being said, there is opportunity. Even with even whatever happens during the regular season, still got to face them in the playoffs too. So
yes, and it's the thing I love about football is it's any given Sunday.
Yeah,
any given Sunday.
Yeah,
but I will say this: I'm not even going to say it to the Crush because you guys are just going to have to see me in 44 days. But if the Booger gang in this Cincinnati division, you know what? I'm just going to say it. Fuck it. Skylar Hurd, if you don't stop trying to mute my players, I'm just going to have to put up 60 on the board.
Yeah, you're trying to fucking swing one that Brent already swinged off of me, man. How many guys is he going to go out on a date with?
Listen, I ain't gonna lie, it hurts my heart, man. Hate to see it.
Yeah, you guys.
Chris, before
you guys were besties, man. It's crazy to see that you guys are feuding the way that you are right now. We're gonna have to sing "Kumbaya" eventually.
I'll see him next week. Chris, a little, hot take from you. What is your predictions for this year's A7FL Cincinnati division, team-wise, win-wise, and who do you think is going to win the division this year?
It's tough because I don't know what those Indianapolis teams are going to look like. And you guys have to bear with me. I was sick last week and I'm losing my voice still. So I'm just kind of getting it back. So, yeah. I don't know too much about the Indianapolis teams. So that kind of throws – because they're going to compete, right? They're going to be part of they're going to be in those playoffs too, right?
Yes, you're right. Exactly. So to my understanding – they are in a simulation of players. If I'm not mistaken, I think that it is a couple of their D3 guys from the Indianapolis Impalas. They might have a couple of guys from that Fort Wayne semi-pro team as well. I believe Indy also does have 2 inter-squad semi-pro teams that play out of the MFCL, Inglewood Bird Gang, and all them.
They're going to have their own playoffs, or are they going to play in the Ohio Division playoffs?
Ohio Division playoffs.
Yeah, Ohio, Indy, and Columbus.
Before I say anything. Yeah. So they because I don't know much about the other Columbus teams. I don't know anything about the Indianapolis teams until I don't even have an eye test. I don't even know what they look like. If I had to go based off of what I saw last year, I mean it's got to be the chaos. I mean, they're the ones that did it. You know what I mean? They're the ones that ran with it. I mean, granted, he got waxed in the semifinals. I mean, no offense. I'm just saying.
No, we did. We got a bunch to our ass.
I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's hard to not look at that team and say, if you bring back 80% of those guys, you're going to do the same thing. But like I said, anything could happen. You even said to yourself, any given Sunday. I could see the crush and the heist, though. That throws me a little bit because I feel like even though the heist made it to the Ohio State, the Ohio Division finals, I still think the crush, man, they were only a couple plays away, dude. That's the thing. So I feel like that's the battle for 2 in my eyes, personally. Like I said, anything can happen. Battle for 2 is going to be that. And then volcanoes, man. I'm sorry, but I don't know what happened with y'all. You guys gotta bring more than 6 guys on a bus to come play. That's just how it was. I mean, every week it was, this guy's sick and this guy broke his leg and Jordan's throwing arms sore, and I was like, what the hell is happening? We have 2 guys playing both ways right now. That's it. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Shout out to those guys. I mean, love them to death. I mean, the coach that I met last year, can't think of what his name is. Super nice guy. I think they might, unless something changes. I mean, it's basement time for them, but.
Especially splitting up a team. Especially splitting up a team that already was kind of at the bottom of the division, anyways. I mean, it genuinely took a miracle for them to pull that one out in Cincinnati, in the hail, in the fucking bullshit. I genuinely think that their team owner, he was up in the stands, and he probably told the team, if you guys lose this fucking game, you guys can find your own ride home. I'm taking the coach bus back solo.
Yeah, that was tough, man. I hate to see a team, get beat like that. Like I said, man, they've got some damn good players. Shout out to your guy, what's his name, John Rockford. He's a fucking dog, bro. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yo, dog. That's all I'm saying. But shout out to him. You know what I mean? And there's a couple other cats on that team,
Zach Ware's pretty good.
I'm drawing blanks. Zach Ware's a dog. That was number 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm bad with names. I'm horrible with names until I get into motion.
And then we got Charles Winters as well. He's with the Explorers now, so he's going to be the head coach for the Explorers. I could very well see the Explorers doing better than Olentangy this year. Like, the Explorers could be the number 1 Columbus team this season. I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be interesting, man. I'm excited to see how it shakes out. But I think right now, man, I mean, you gotta give your flowers where your flowers are due, man. And it's hard to say just, from a 1,000-yard view and just from up in that, that broadcast booth, man. But the Chaos figured something out last year.
And the Chaos did a great job. And the Chaos did a great job recruiting this past season. As for the Crush, I feel as if we've done a really good job retooling. We're still in the market for a big or two, and I'll admit that right here on the podcast. But I'm very happy with the quality of players that we got and the numbers that we've been having at practice. The real question mark is...
That's what I'm talking about.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, that's what I'm talking about is, you guys were only, a player or two away from beating these teams. Last year, when I was calling games, it was well, you got the Chaos, and it's well, that's going to be a 60-19 game. What the fuck? You know what I mean? And but bro, when it was Heist Crush, I'm okay, I'm going to have fun this game because this is going to be a good one. You know what I mean? This is going to be a fun game because I don't have to. This game's not going to get called at the half.
There's always a fight, and not necessarily that punches are actually being thrown, but there's always an argument. Someone always gets broken up. Someone always gets thrown out for a quarter. We always just tighten it up just a little bit more when we play the Heist just because we fucking hate them. And they're the team right now that have the biggest question mark. I've seen videos of them working out with another semi-pro team, and they've maybe had 15 or 20 guys in an indoor facility, but literally outside of that, crickets. Haven't heard shit. I've heard that they stole one of my fucking players, maybe. But that was it. Literally, they're a blimp on the fucking radar screen right now. I hope and be also as well be surprised if they do show up with, 30, 40, 50 fucking deep like they normally do.
I said, man, that's it for me is Chaos at the top, Crush Heist, fighting it out for number 2. Everybody else can argue with the wall.
Yeah. I could see that with that assessment right now. I can feel it.
And I've said it before on an earlier episode. I do want to give a shout out to you, Dale Hathaway, because in that scrimmage we had, just a few weeks ago, I was shocked personally at seeing the amount of players that showed up to that scrimmage for the QC Crush. Granted, we only had 12 guys show up, which will never happen again.
It was early. Yeah.
I do, I talked a little bit to your players after that, and, I do want to shout you guys out because, even though, we kind of did our thing in the scrimmage, your guys were not giving up. And that's, the main thing of starting, possibly a huge upset in the Cincinnati division of the Crush, maybe beating the Chaos, is, not giving up, not stopping the fight, and just continuing on to better yourselves as a team. So I do want to shout you out for that reason because last year, like Chris said, you guys were literally only a couple players away from really doing the damn thing. And I think this year you guys are definitely, not to sound like that guy, but definitely in a fight for that number 2 spot.
We
definitely
as to where record wasn't great. Sometimes the points allowed wasn't that great. But if you look at Olentangy, they forfeited a lot of games. We never forfeited a game. At the halftime at the Chaos game, it was an agreement between the referees and obviously I am a coach and Brent is a coach, but it was an agreement that we were going to open up the second half with 6 guys. Antonio Jackson already broke his ankle earlier in the game and is pretty much unnecessary given the score, and I'm very sorry to bring that up. But, there was no reason for anybody to get hurt in the second half. So that was not something we quit. No, that was the officials calling it, all right? And then with the Heist game, we had a medical emergency. I don't want to get into that and overshadow anything that the person is completely okay as a member of the Heist organization. But like, we've sat in with the odds against us, with you know an incredible amount of players more than us, and then we'd go back in play after play after play after play. Sometimes me even playing middle linebacker as well as being on the Q side of the ball. Sometimes our wide receiver also being that number one quarterback. Like, honestly, I think it kind of made us a little tougher, and I'm hoping that we can build off of that and kind of make ourselves tough going in the next year with having extra talent and extra breathers around us as well. So, but I appreciate that. I really do appreciate the kind words. Numbers are still about the same, but yeah, it's just like whenever people start hitting, you have one or two guys, they need to kind of figure out, like, is it within them to be, you know, a part of this cutthroat game, or is the padded way for you? And some people it is, some people it isn't, but I'm happy with the guys that we got on our side right now. We just need to get like one big, two bigs. I think we can make a run this year.
Oh yeah.
But with that being said, I think we hit our time mark.
Yeah, no, yeah. So with all that being said, you're completely right. So whether you're looking for scores, highlights, interviews, or expert analysis, Unscripted Cincy and STW Sports Media is your go-to source for all things in Southwest Indiana and the A7FL Cincinnati division. We invite you to join us on this exciting journey as we continue to bring you coverage for the upcoming A7FL Cincinnati season, 44 freaking days away. Thank you for being a part of the Unscripted Cincy Podcast. We're bringing you the unfiltered conversations and insight from the world of sports. But be sure to stay tuned, because I know our boys at STW got something cooking up for you this fall.
Hopefully. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chris, for joining.
Yep, that's Chris and Brent, and I'm Dale. It was a pleasure talking with y'all.